Do you want to go down in this interview? Do you want to go down, yes or no?
Hip-hop has always been a raw reflection of the streets, filled with stories of struggle, survival, and triumph. But some rappers live lives that are so closely tied to violence that their music and their real-world actions become inseparable. These aren't just tales of tough upbringings or hardened mentalities. These are rappers who've been embroiled in violence, whether by choice, by association, or by force. Here's a deeper look into the 10 most violent rappers, counting down from the least to the most violent, and digging into the gritty details of their lives that earned them a spot on this list. 10, 6, 9.
Want people to, feel our pain, feel our struggle. Translation from Spanish to English is me confessing my sins, me showing the lessons, the consequences of meeting and associating with the wrong people. All those are consequences. All those are...
6ix9ine, born Daniel Hernandez, is often seen as the king of trolling, a master at stirring up controversy. But while some might assume his antics are all for show, his connection to real violence is undeniable. When he linked up with the 9 Trey Gangsta Bloods, things went from internet trolling to deadly serious. 6ix9ine's rise to fame was marked by violent gang activities, including ordering hits on rivals. His decision to cooperate with law enforcement in exchange for a reduced sentence, turning on his own gang, earned him a reputation as a snitch, which could make him a target for future violence. While his colorful appearance and over-the-top behavior may seem like a spectacle, the violence that surrounds him is very real. He narrowly avoided a life sentence by flipping on his former crew, but he remains a controversial and divisive figure in the rap world. 9. Tupac Shakur.
We killing each other because we killing ourselves. We not when another man. I know I've been in a position. It's out of our control. It's not like he wants to kill. He just doesn't want to die. You know what I'm saying? It's that situation when we are living in a war zone.
Tupac Shakur is often seen as a revolutionary poet, but his life was marked by a tragic blend of activism, controversy, and violence. Born into a family with deep roots in the Black Panther movement, Pac grew up understanding the importance of standing up for what he believed in. But as he ascended to rap superstardom, violence became an inseparable part of his life. In 1994, Tupac was shot multiple times during a robbery at Quad Studios in New York City. He famously survived but believed the attack was a setup, fueling his feud with Biggie Smalls and the East Coast-West Coast rivalry. Pac's increasing affiliation with Death Row Records, especially with its violent CEO Suge Knight, brought him closer to gang culture. Pac was known for his fiery temper, and his confrontations often turned physical, such as when he was involved in the violent altercation that preceded his murder. Tupac's death in a Las Vegas drive-by shooting in 1996 remains unsolved, but it's widely believed to have been the result of gang retaliation. His legacy is complex, as he was both a voice for the oppressed and a man caught up in the violent world he rapped about. 8. Kodak Black.
Kodak Black started throwing rocks. I want you to listen to this for a moment. Don't throw anything at our camera. Don't throw anything at our camera. Don't throw anything at our camera.
Kodak Black, born Duzin Octave, later legally changed to Bill K. Capri, is a rapper who seems to have a never-ending streak of legal troubles. His music reflects his turbulent life, filled with crime, violence, and constant run-ins with the law. Whether it's drug possession, gun charges, or serious accusations like sexual assault, Kodak's record reads like a rap sheet. One of the most disturbing incidents involved Kodak being linked to a drive-by shooting in Florida, which left several people injured. His ties to the streets have led to multiple arrests, and despite being pardoned by former President Trump in 2021, Kodak continues to be caught up in legal issues. His ongoing beefs with other rappers and reckless behavior make him a lightning rod for trouble, ensuring that violence always seems to follow him. 7. Casanova.
You stepping in my world will terrify you. Vice versa. Your world, somebody's that's not used to it gonna be like, oh my God, Vlad. Oh, let me tell you this story. Oh my God. Dude got cut here and from here to here. And you're gonna be like, damn. But to me, it's like regular. I've been going to jail so much. It wasn't gladiator school because when I came in, I was already certified.
Brooklyn's Casanova, real name Caswell Sr., embodies the harsh realities of street life. Before rap saved him from a life of crime, Casanova was deep in the trenches, committing armed robberies and doing time in prison. His gritty, aggressive style of rapping was a reflection of that world, but the streets eventually pulled him back in. In 2020, Casanova was indicted on federal charges, including racketeering, drug trafficking, and conspiracy to commit murder. The FBI accused him of being a key member of the untouchable guerrilla Stone Nation gang, linking him to various violent crimes. Facing decades in prison, Casanova's downfall is a cautionary tale about how difficult it is to leave the streets behind. His indictment showcases the real dangers that still haunt even successful rappers, and Casanova's violent past came back to drag him down. 6. The Game.
Right? Because the shit be here. Like, the awards are here more than not.
The Game, born Jason Taylor, is a rapper who wears his gang affiliations on his sleeve. Growing up in Compton, California, Game was involved with the Bloods from a young age, and his music has always reflected the violent lifestyle that comes with it. Over the years, the Game has been involved in numerous beefs, the most famous being his fallout with 50 Cent, which turned from lyrical shots into real-life confrontations. Game has been linked to street fights, club brawls, and altercations with other rappers. His tendency to physically confront his rivals has earned him a reputation as one of the most dangerous men in West Coast hip-hop. In 2005, a shooting involving his entourage at a concert solidified his reputation as someone who doesn't shy away from violence. Though he's matured over the years, the Game's history of gang-related aggression still casts a long shadow over his career. 5. King Von.
So you was in jail for 2 murders?
Yeah, 1 murder and 2 attempts. I just beat.
How you beat that?
What you mean? I
mean, you didn't do it clearly. But I mean, it's something to throw young black men in jail.
Like jury, like, you know, like, you know, jury, yeah, look, you know.
King Von, born Davon Bennett, wasn't just a rapper. He was a street soldier coming out of Chicago's notoriously violent O-Block. His music, anchored in drill, a subgenre of hip-hop closely tied to gang culture, painted vivid pictures of life in the trenches. But what set Von apart from others was that his lyrics weren't just fictionalized tales. They were often drawn from real-life events. Von had multiple brushes with the law, including a high-profile case where he was charged with murder, but later acquitted. He was known for being affiliated with Chicago's gang scene and was even rumored to have been involved in several street killings. Tragically, his violent lifestyle caught up to him in 2020 when he was shot and killed outside an Atlanta nightclub following a brawl. Von's death was a stark reminder of how the line between rap and the streets is often blurred. 4. Gucci Mane.
That's the old Gucci still there.
Nah, that's the truth, man.
Yeah.
You know, if somebody comes to you, try to kill you,
Yeah.
you know, and self-defense. So if somebody try to kill you, you know, you gotta do what you gotta do.
You gotta do, absolutely.
Gucci Mane, Radrick Davis, is not just a pioneer of trap music, but also one of the most notorious figures in the genre for his involvement in street violence. Gucci's reputation for living what he rapped about was solidified in 2005 when he shot and killed a man who was allegedly sent to rob and attack him. Gucci claimed self-defense, and the murder charge was eventually dropped. But the incident became a defining moment in his career. Over the years, Gucci's legal troubles continued to pile up, with multiple arrests for drug possession, gun charges, and aggravated assault. His ongoing feuds with other rappers, particularly Young Jeezy, escalated into real-life confrontations and gun violence. Although Gucci has turned his life around in recent years, getting married and focusing on his music, his violent past remains an indelible part of his story. 3. Eazy-E.
First of all, I want to start off with those studio gangsters out there. I don't believe nothing they say anyway. Talking about I ganked them for whatever and all that, so don't ever believe everything you hear.
Eazy-E, born Eric Wright, didn't just rap about street life, he lived it. As a founding member of NWA, Eazy-E was instrumental in bringing gangsta rap to mainstream America, painting a vivid picture of life in South Central Los Angeles. Before music, Eazy was deeply entrenched in the drug game, earning money as a crack dealer. His real-life experiences with violence, drugs, and crime were the foundation of his lyrical content, making him one of the most authentic voices in gangsta rap. Eazy's persona wasn't just for show. He founded Ruthless Records, which became a powerhouse in the industry, but it was also tied to street elements that mirrored the violent lifestyle he rapped about. His association with the Crips and his involvement in the harsh realities of Compton made him a genuine street figure who commanded respect both in the music industry and in the streets. His conflicts with fellow NWA members, especially Dr. Dre and Ice Cube, took on an edge that felt personal and dangerous. While his death in 1995 from complications related to AIDS was unrelated to the street violence he was surrounded by, Eazy-E's legacy remains intertwined with the brutal world he came from. He wasn't just a rapper depicting gang life, he was a product of it, and his impact on hip-hop as a genre is a testament to how closely violence and rap can sometimes be connected. 2. DMX.
See the fair treatment going on. Only one in here. He's the only one who got arrested today. So do it every time, man. Every time, man. Every time they do it to me. They gotta be quiet about it. I get my rights violated, but I gotta be quiet about it. Let's go. Let's go. Now let's go. It's a bitch, man.
DMX, born Earl Simmons, lived a life filled with trauma, violence, and raw energy that spilled over into every aspect of his career. Growing up in Yonkers, New York, DMX was no stranger to violence from an early age, and that energy followed him throughout his life. His struggles with addiction and his deep-seated anger made him unpredictable, both in his personal life and his music. Over the years, DMX was arrested for various charges, including drug possession, animal cruelty, and weapons charges. But his violent streak wasn't just legal, it was internal. DMX constantly battled his own demons, and his aggression often manifested in his interactions with the world. Whether it was run-ins with law enforcement or altercations with other rappers, DMX's life was a storm of violence that eventually consumed him. His tragic death in 2021 marked the end of a career filled with both brilliance and self-destruction. On NBA YoungBoy.
That chain, hey, you see that chain you just took out my partner neck? Hey, that chain you just took out my partner neck, that ain't his chain. That's my chain. I ain't really tripping off I got too much money. Shoot this up safe.
At just 24 years old, NBA YoungBoy, Kentrell Gaulden, has already cemented his place as one of the most violent and controversial rappers of his generation. His music is raw and aggressive, reflecting a life that's been steeped in violence since childhood. Growing up in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, YoungBoy's early years were marked by gang violence, which continues to shape his life today. In 2016, YoungBoy was arrested for his involvement in a drive-by shooting and faced attempted murder charges. He's been arrested multiple times since, mostly for gun possession and violent altercations. YoungBoy's beefs with other rappers like Fredo Bang and Lil Durk frequently spill over into real-life conflicts, leading to shootouts and violent confrontations. His willingness to engage in violence and his unpredictable nature make him one of the most dangerous rappers in the game right now.